Danny, good comeback on Saturday, but a massive game against Chesterfield this Tuesday.
Yeah, we've got a run of games against all the teams that you probably expect, or they expect, to be up and around it come sort of the end of the season. So it's a great test for the lads. But as I said, we showed good character on Saturday, so hopefully we can take the momentum for which we finished the game into the game tomorrow night.
Of course, the game was actually rearranged initially because of the COVID issues they had, and we wish them all the best, and hopefully everything's recovered by this point.
Yeah, look, I mean, we probably didn't want the game this Tuesday because we've got such a sort of tight schedule of games coming up, but we also respect the fact that these games have got to be played and we've got to fit them in. And, you know, after the game, it might be the best thing that we did. So we just it's a weird season with COVID, and obviously, as I said, it's a run of games that the congestion's quite big. But you know what? I mean, looking out on the pitch now, it's a lovely day today. The pitch is starting to get back to what it used to be, and obviously the boys want to play football.
And just on that, what's the latest with our COVID issues? Everything okay? Is everyone recovered from that?
So everybody's back now, barring one. So yeah, look, as I said before, we've done everything we can to try and be as safe as we can, but you just don't know where you might pick it up from: supermarket, petrol stations, wherever it might be, and we can't control those. All I know is what we're doing internally is by the book. So hopefully, touch wood, that'll be the last of it, and we can move on. But yeah, it's heading in the right direction.
And injury-wise as well, no new injuries or any latest injury updates from anyone?
No, obviously the long-term ones are the long-term ones, and the boys that have been away and not been available recently, it's all been COVID-related, so there was no physical sort of injuries for those players to get over. So no, look, as far as we're concerned, everyone who is available is fine and fit.
When we went up there, it was a 0-0 draw, and a well-earned 0-0 draw, given we went down to 10 men, so we'll be expecting a tough game similar to those sorts of circumstances.
Yeah, look, they've done a lot of recruitment, they've brought a lot of new players in, and they've been in good form, so it'll be, like I've said with all these teams, it'll be tough, but they're as I said, they're in good form, so they'll come here expecting to win, and we'll be turning up tomorrow expecting to do the same.
We showed again on Saturday another last-minute goal or late goal that got us something from a game. Is that something we worked on in the mentality? Is that something that's been improved?
I think you work on scoring late to try and get points out of games, because you'd rather get it done and dusted earlier on in the game, so you can kind of you can never relax, but at least make it a bit more comfortable for yourselves. But what it has shown is that we've got the temperament in the squad and the resilience in the squad to keep going until someone tells us to stop, and that sort of gave us the impetus on Saturday to get back in the game. And obviously there was a couple of chances towards the end where you thought we might have nicked it, so it's a positive. The negatives are we should have never found ourselves in that position in the first place, and we have to, although we give them the plaudits for the recovery and the roll your sleeves up mentality, we need to work on making sure we're not having to do those sort of things, and that takes a bit of time, and we're getting there, but it's a process, unfortunately.
I think it's tough for any team, to go 1-1 and then 5 or 6 minutes later it's 3-1 to the other team. So it's a bit of a mental thing to think about.
Yeah, and we've been sort of studying the goals in this league this season. It happens to a lot of teams where they concede one and then it's either 2 or 3 goals then going within that sort of small period of time. And unfortunately, I think it's the level and the focus. Teams switch off, players switch off, and if you look where the second goal comes from, it's basically straight from the centre, from our equaliser. Now it seemed like an eternity because obviously the assistant referee was having an earpiece taped to his face, but actually in real time of the game, it was literally straight from the kickoff. They went 2-1 up, and then obviously the penalty is what it is, and I still don't think it's a penalty. The more I see it now, I don't think it's a penalty because the ball's actually out of play before Ryan makes contact with the player. And all first half, they were pulling Noobs down in the penalty area, they were pulling H down in the penalty area, they were putting Ricky down in the penalty area. When the ball's out of play for throw-ins, and the fourth official's exact terminology was it can't be a foul if the ball's not in play. And there's your consistency, unfortunately, and people wonder why we're as upset as we are at the minute with officials, because there is no consistency with it, and look, the ref a couple of times said, look, if I've made a mistake, I made a mistake, and I don't think they do it on purpose, but it does feel at the minute that every single thing seems to be going against us, and it's hard because you're looking at the boys in the dressing room and you're thinking, I'm not really sure how to criticise you today, especially when things are taken out of your control. But look, we live and learn, and hopefully we might get a decision this year.
I think one more thing that's been made, not more difficult, but a bit of a change this season is obviously having no fans here. And I think, especially when we brought it back from 3-3, we could have used that extra boost from the fans to make it 4-3.
I tweeted, I think it was yesterday. I tweeted, might have been Saturday, I don't know, whatever day it was. I tweeted that it's been great, like what Scotty's done with the banners, and everyone's worked hard to try and make it look like there's an atmosphere here, but you can't replicate what our supporters are capable of replicating. You can't. They are. I mean, even the small glimpse we got this season at home here against Dagenham, it made such a difference to the team. And when you listen, it can go against you sometimes if you're performing poorly and they're unhappy with you, and it can put pressure on. But generally, the supporters here are always behind the team, and when you need that little bit of a kick, even Hereford in the trophy, I mean, they've probably been with 3,000 or 4,000 here against Hereford, and you can never guarantee what it's supposed to be, but I just think when you get those goals, when you need that little bit of momentum, when you need that famous 12th man to sort of almost suck the ball in the net for you, you do miss it on games. You do miss it, and like you said, when we get the third on Saturday, I think with the atmosphere that had been here, I think we would have gone on and probably got a fourth goal, but we'll never know, unfortunately.
Relating it back to Tuesday, obviously you probably would have watched Chesterfield's last game away to Barnet, 2-0 win for them, so they'll be going into the game full of confidence.
Yeah, look, as I said, they're in good form. They've got some very, very good players, and the likes of Asante and Whelan who's playing in behind the two forwards, and they've brought Ali Yusuf in, and like the list goes on. They've invested, and they've got a goal. They want to get promoted, and we obviously need to make sure that we make that as uncomfortable as we possibly can for them.
Are you in with a shot? More information below. Click here for the next video, click here to subscribe.